Once again, a good morning, Mr. Klaus, and good morning, dear colleagues, coaches, participants. So today is the 20th class from that series which Mr. Klaus presented to us to the headquarter. So today's topic is very, very interesting and very, very valuable for our coaches to develop motor ability, that is specific ability in handball, development concept of specific ability in handball, and a methodology to develop ability through videos. And he will explain today in a, you can say, right manner, and we will understand what he said and how we have to work with the children. So not taking much time, I request Mr. Klaus Feldman to please start the class.
Okay, I hope that everyone can hear me now. Fine.
Yeah.
So we start with our topic today. And the topic today is specific agility in handball. This is something, from my point of view, very important, because agility on one side is a motor aspect. So it deals with all the movements the player are making. So you might say this is a very basic topic, but if we come to that specific variation or the specific elements in handball, there is really much more inside. And I will show you in that presentation what my thoughts about this are, how we can develop a so-called methodical formula, which helps the coaches to identify drills in the training which rely on that specific agility. So, as always, we have 3 chapters in the presentation. The first is about the development in handball and the methodical consequences out of that development. Second chapter is the definition. What does it mean, specific agility, and to create this methodical formula. And chapter number 3 is examples for training some elements you can see, or some examples you can see from different training content, how this specific agility is worked out. Okay, starting with the first slide of chapter number 1, we talk about the development of handball. And handball is something, as you know, is a game that is played with high speed, hopefully. And this is one of our 10 instructions. You remember maybe from the first presentation. We said if a player can use, or if the players can use high speed, they can slow down the speed from time to time if they want. But if they always trained to play in a slow way, and used to play in a slow way, they fail if they want to play fast. So that's why in our general concept of educating the players, we have to focus on a high-speed game, on a fast game, because this is something we can use in competition, but we are not forced to use it. So in certain situations, maybe 5 minutes to the end of the game, and with 5 goals in front, you don't need to hurry up. Then you can slow down. But if you're on the opponent's side and you are 5 goals behind, then you have to try to get into possession of the ball, and you have to try to go to attack very fast and try to score if you want to change the game in that short time. So playing or the ability to play fast is something really essential for the players. And from my point of view, this is something that could be worked out from the beginning in the education process of handball. Now, if we see the development of our game, then we always see, let's say, a development which is going in waves. It's going up and down. So in some phases, for instance, attack is dominating the game. In other phases, defense is again dominating the game. So all the aspects we prescribe now, in some phases of the development of the games, they were much more obvious to see. Sometimes you will see it's not given. Okay, the first is the active defense. If we use active defense in our game, then one of the goals of that active defense is to produce a higher number of turnovers, get into possession of the ball. And from that possession, you can go to attack very quick. This is something which in certain periods of the development of our game was really important, this active defense. Actually, to be honest, in the top level, we don't see so much active defense because the dominating teams, especially from Europe, they use a classical 6-0 defense. They don't work too open, too active. They are reacting more and more. And from my point of view, this is a negative development of our game. But hopefully in the future, teams with more active defense will come up. So for instance, in the last 2 European championships, you could see winning the championship, or championship winner was Spain, European champion in 2018 and in 2020. And this was the team with a very active defense compared to all the other teams, a very effective defense, and a very fair defense too. So according to the rules on one side, and as a result, with a high success in defense, with a large number of turnovers and in interceptions. So this defense was really active. So from my point of view, this should be the future development. Second aspect is, from that higher number of turnovers, a higher number of fast breaks in the game. So at least 30% and more of the goals should be made out of a fast break. That means if your team scores 30 goals in a game, minimum 10 of them, sometimes even more, 1/3, has to be a result of fast breaks. As you know, and we will talk about that in tomorrow's presentation, we have different types of fast break. We have first wave, second wave, third wave. We have the quick throw off. So in that moment, it's not only the single fast break of a wing player and the long distance pass, and all this makes our game much more faster. And if we have a higher number of fast breaks, and the fast breaks are short time attacks only, we have altogether a higher number of attacks for one team per match, or for the teams in the match. So more than 50 attacks for one team per attack per game is no problem nowadays. But actually, we must be honest that this number was higher some years ago. So for instance, in the 2011 World Championship in Sweden for the men, the average number of attacks per team was 65. Now in the last World Championship in Germany and Denmark, it was 55 only. So this was 10 attacks less. So for each team, 10 means 20 attacks in total, which are missing in our game. And this is a development that shows that sometimes there are some oscillations in the development of the game. And finally, we have to expect higher demands in that idea of playing fast, depending on some rule changes. In the past, we had some rule changes which speeded up the game too. Some, they had a very great influence, big influence on the game. Some small rule changes only. Just to give an example, the big change of the rules which influenced the speed of our game was the introduction of the fast throw-off. This was coming to handball in 2001. And there was a revision of this in 2004. So finally, the actual rule is from 2004. And now teams can go to attack after they receive the goal and restart the game from the center if not all or the opponent is still in their half. In the old times, this wasn't possible. The referees had to wait for the players, for the former players in attack to return, and then they started the game. Now you can start immediately. This is a rule that changed the style of the game at the beginning of this century in a very strong way. Now, in the last years, you could see the number of quick throw-offs going down a little bit. On one side, maybe the coaches, they don't want to have the risk, to go for the risk, to lose the ball maybe in that situation. Sometimes it was a problem with the referees because of some small mistakes, not taking the step in the right position, running over through the center line. They corrected the fast throw-off. So sometimes the teams, they got a little bit annoyed from that and said, okay, then we don't try again because the referees don't allow. And on the other side, we must see that very many teams are now very good in retreat movement. So they defend the quick throw off in a very nice way. So a smaller change in the rule was, for instance, the one that was coming, I think, around 2008. In former times, before, after stepping in the goal area line, the goalkeeper had to restart the game from the position the mistake happened. So for instance, if right wing was stepping on the line, shooting, then the goalkeeper had to collect the ball and go to the position where the right wing player was making the mistake, and from there to restart the game. Now the goalkeeper can restart the game from any position inside the goal area, which gives the goalkeeper the chance to bring in the ball into the game very much faster. And this is a small rule change that influenced the speed of our game. And as you can imagine, we will never know how the rules will change in future. So maybe higher demands from the rule side will come to speed up the game a little bit more. Now, from this, we come to the methodical consequences out of that development. And one of the consequences is players need to make quicker observation and need to deal with the information they observe faster. So the quicker the game, the more important it is to deal with the information you get. This is something which happens not in the legs of the players, but in the mind of the players. So this is something very important if we come to the next chapter to prescribe this concept of specific agility in handball. Second is that if we want our players to play faster, they have to feel higher demands on step work. So that's obvious that if you need to play with a more active defense, moving upward, forward, downward, right, left, and in any direction, better step work must be given. If you want to have more goals out of fast break, you must increase the number of fast breaks the players run. So higher demands on step work. And from that, you can see that step work and quick legs are very important for our game. Third is that especially the game without ball has to be improved. Because if only the player with ball is moving, it's a boring game. If 5 players take a position on the court and waiting for the ball to come, and even some short seconds, 1 or 2 seconds before they start to move, this is not an intense game. The intensity of the game is coming from the players that move without ball. And the more those players without ball move, the better it is for our game. This is something in the top level, in the actual status, you cannot see that because we have 2 out of 6 players, which is 1/3, which don't move in the position attack. It's the wing players that go to the corner, take their position, and wait what happens in the backcourt. So they are not involved in the game, in the ball circulation. They are not involved in the build-up phase. They don't run in, not to the pivot position, not in the backcourt. They keep their positions and wait. And this is something which reduces the game without ball or the actions without ball. And I think that in general, we have to change this in future to make it a better game. And as more attacks are played on the court, the improvement of transition, switching from attack to defense and vice versa is needed. So it's obvious that if you have, for instance, 60 attacks per team per game, it's 120 attacks altogether. So that means that every 30 seconds in average, the players have to switch from attack to defense or the other way around, from defense to attack. And this transition process, this is something which has to be worked out in our training too. The last point is something you know already from our presentations about the techniques, that especially for the throwing, it's important to realize these techniques very quick, very fast. So, because if the defense is moving from one to the other side, and then for a very short moment, a gap to shoot through is open, then the players in attack, they must find the right moment and very quick realize shooting from the ground to score. Especially if you see now the very tall players in defense, even for tall players in attack, it's almost impossible always to shoot over them. So shooting through the defense is something very nice, and it depends on a quick realization of the techniques. So that's why altogether we can come back to our first instruction in handball, which you remember from our first presentation, hopefully, which is, write it down here, written down here. Handball is a game, this is played with hands, with legs and the head. So we have on one side the quick movement of the player, concept of agility in handball. This is the next chapter I want to introduce, in which we want to define what is part of that specific agility and work out a methodical formula for that training of specific agility. Okay, now if we come to the definition, first of all, we have to see that there are two parts that we talk about. One is the so-called motor component, and the other side is the cognitive component. And this again is what happens with the legs and other parts of the body, because motor component is everything that deals with movements. But on the other side, we have that cognitive component, all the things, all the elements that depend on taking up information and deal with that information, making decisions on the court. So these are the two elements, like we can prescribe it or transfer it from our first instruction in handball. Handball is a game played with the legs and the head. So on the motor component side, we have two aspects we have to differentiate. It's the coordinative aspect and it's the conditional aspect. So for coordination, we have the running, the jumping, the throwing, the quick hands, for instance, and in defense. Because the players in handball, they have to coordinate their movements very fast. So especially in defense, you can see that in a very nice way. Running forward, running backward, running sideward, always to get in the correct position between opponent and goal. Depends on a good coordination, because those movements always are different. So you don't run in the same way 5 times in the game. Sometimes it's more straight, sometimes it's more right, more left, sometimes it's 5 meters, sometimes it's only 2 meters. So there is a big variation, and this coordination must be made under time pressure. This is a difference to other athletes. For instance, let's say track and field, 100-meter hurdle sprint. So there's a very good coordination that must be given to that or worked out from that athletes too, because they have a special position when they start, the ankle of the knees, of the hips, everything must be perfect to have very good acceleration. Then when they come up after the starting signal, they have to find the right length of the steps, and they have to produce really the correct number of steps so that on the first hurdle, they come to the right leg to jump. Then they have to find the correct rhythm between the hurdles. So maybe they make 7 steps, maybe they make 8 steps or somehow, which is a very strongly fixed type of coordination. If they come out of that rhythm, they will lose so much time, they will never be able to win the competition. But these elements are really fixed. This is the difference to the players in handball, because our coordination is so flexible and so open. All our movements, all the things that the players have to coordinate are so much variable, depending on the game situation, that it's a completely different type of coordination. On the other side, all these elements have to be worked out, all the movements have to be worked out under this idea of speed and a little bit related strength, because there is a strong relation between speed and strength in the athletes. Because if we want to accelerate very fast, then the players, they need some strength in their muscles to accelerate the body, to jump in a nice way. So the starting speed, the jumping and throwing strength, the reactive strength, especially after coming down and change direction, this is the more conditional part on that side. And this is altogether the motor component you can see here, or to bring it in another word, this is the traditional idea of speed and agility we have. But we have this cognitive component on the right side of the screen too. So here we talk about aspects like speed of perception. I'm sorry for that. Once again, build it up. Okay, so on the right side, we talk about elements like speed of perception, speed of anticipation, decision-making, and reactive speed. So this is something that depends on taking up the information, observation, anticipate, know what will happen in the next step, in the next moment, and make a decision very quick. And as handball is a complex game of decision making, constantly decision making for all the players in attack and in defense, you can see that this part of the agility, of the specific agility, is very, very important. Especially if you imagine that players in the same league, in the same level, they have almost same preconditions on that side. So if you go to top international level, the players in the wing, attacker and defender, they are almost on the same level of speed. So there is really a small difference only. And this small difference is not the difference in the game. Okay, wing players, they are much faster compared to backcourt players, because backcourt players normally they are more tall and a little bit more heavy. So there's a difference. But wing against wing is same level. Backcourt against backcourt is almost same level. And if you go down to amateur level, it's the same. So then the wings, they are on the same level, not as high in the top level, but on their level, they are in the same level. And this is why they play in the same league. So that's the reason why we don't have big differences here on the motor component side. So how can it happen that the player in the competition is so much faster than his opponent? I think it's obvious to explain, because he is much faster in the cognitive component. He realizes the situation earlier. He is making a better anticipation, and he is deciding earlier. And from that point, he starts earlier, so that even if the opponent is on the same level of speed, he's always ahead of them. If you observe some matches in international handball, very often you will see that wing players, they go for the fast break, and they are far ahead of all the other players, of their opponents. But this is not because they are running so much fast, it's because they start so early. This is the very important point in that moment. Now, to give you some ideas and to show you what is happening, I have some video from women competition in 2015, and you can see how the idea of specific agility is worked out from those players. So let's see how they move and what is happening here. Okay, there's a short problem in that. Try to restart it. Okay, I'm not very happy with that situation. Please give me one moment. Okay, now we can see what is happening here. So you see this player from Spain in the game against Romania, and very quick after she was lying on the ground, she's standing up and observing towards the goalkeeper. Very often you can see players lying on the ground for a too long time. Second is when they stand up, they turn their face to the own goal and run back home. But this player, she's observing the goalkeeper, and in that moment, she can catch the ball and immediately go for the score again. See the next one here. Quite interesting situation. Now, as you can see, the yellow team, Romania, they almost lost the ball. So the ball is now coming to the center line. In that moment, center back player is running towards the ball. So she's not observing the defense and the situation in front of her anymore. She's moving to the ball, and this defender is following her. Now, in that moment, a gap is opened on the right side of the attack. Now she's taking up the ball, and now she's observing the situation. In that moment, right wing is running in and center back is giving direct pass. So that means that in that situation, two players have to react very quick to the new situation that is given. It's on one side, the backward player for the pass, and it's on the other side, the wing player running in now. They saw that the situation has changed, and then with that new situation, very quick, they knew what to do. And again here, this is the example for transition. So you see black team Montenegro going back to defense, but still in that moment, the wing defender, she is observing and she is active in that moment. So from that, she can now intercept the ball and very quick from retreat, switch or make the transition to fast break again. And then you can see how easy she finalizes that attack. So once again, switch from defense to attack, very quick. Now the next one is quite funny. It's from Denmark against Romania too. So Denmark wants to go to third wave, but then they stop and score easily. So what happened? Goalkeeper brings the ball into the game, center back player goes to the position, and now you see in the center, almost no chance, defense has returned, so they stop the fast break, and she's turning her face or her back to the goal. But in that moment, she realized that the defense was not organized. So defense here was talking. In that moment, very easy pass to the pivot and Heidenai. And very easy way to score. I'm sorry for that problem in the presentation. So let's try again. So this is the first break, and this is the easy score. So once again, go to attack, stop, just finish the first break, and then very easy, find the pivot because defense is not aware. So, and very interesting in that moment is you see the center back player, she's turning her back to the goal, but then she turns around and realizes the situation. Game is going on, so easy to score. Once again from the beginning. And simply but effective. Okay, now in the next step, something clever from pivot and right wing again. Defense was stopping the game, and then free throw was executed very fast. So you can see here the situation given. It's the free throw here. This is the right wing player. This is the pivot, sorry. And this is the right wing player who was running in. She's the left-handed player. And this is the defender who should go to that position. So you can see again, defense is not organized. So in that moment, very quick pass and breaking through, scoring easily. Once again, execute free throw, and defense is not organized, so easy to finalize that attack. And that shows how simple it can be. The same we see here. There is a free throw for Norway against Russia, and they execute it very fast. The reason is that the Russian defense was changing one player. Now, see the free throw situation, and now you could see one player was running out. Now, this is the change of the defender here. She's running out, and number 19 is coming in. So for a very short moment, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders only. Norway with 6 players in attack. And the pivot realizes this situation very quick, steps out 9 meters, executes the free throw, right back very quick follows, and center back can score because the one player is missing in the center. So 3 players realized the situation very, very fast, and from that, they could solve the situation easily. Okay, fast break. But now, continue. So in the first attempt, attack was not successful because the goalkeeper made a great save. Ball is going over the sideline. Now, defense is happy with that action, but they are not aware of what is coming next. 2 attackers, one very quick execute throw in, and second is the wing player who was in the position or who was failing before in the second attempt, she scores. So because they are aware and they are very agile, very quick with their decision and continuing the game. Another example from Spain against Norway, against Romania. And it's only a small aspect to be seen here. So now Spain came to attack. Romania, yellow team, has gone to the defense. But you will see defense is not well organized because this player is the wing defender and she is now a little bit open against left back, whereas this is the half defender. Now, this is the position here. Defense, as I said, not perfectly organized. And now, after pass from left back to left wing and pass back, now defense is changing the position because they expect the Spanish team to, in a slow way, circulate the ball and prepare the build-up phase. But this is the moment when left back very quick started to attack and center back followed in the next step. So there was a change of speed, a change of rhythm. Easy, 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 and now speed up. So like an explosion, like a surprise for the defense, this change of speed was worked out. And another fast break from Montenegro. And there are different aspects in that sequence here. First is you see the player in attack shooting from outside 9. The wing defender open at the 9-meter line. This is wing attacker. She's completely free, but the pass will not come. So in that moment, you can see after the shooting, immediately the player in attack, she starts. Whereas the defender or the backcourt player here, she should defend because the wing, she will never have a chance, is just observing and waiting. So this is the correct moment to start, and there is such a big space she's getting now in front of all the others with the first or with that early start. No one can ever manage to come close to her in the following fast break. Second aspect is see the defender in the center position. The ball is coming back from the goal. She is jumping and immediately in the air, forwarding the ball next player. This player easily passes and now see how far the wing on that side is in front of the players in attack. Easy scoring, no chance for the defense. So again, two players acted or reacted very quick in that moment. And then we have the solution here. Okay. The last example, and I like it so much, shows how important thinking on the ground is. This is the final action, but this is not the important moment. It's a no-look pass from center back to pivot. The important moment is before. You see the dark team, it's from Netherlands, in attack, and there's a bad pass from the wing player to the backcourt in that moment. Now the ball is going towards the center line. And in this situation, even it was not intentionally a bad pass, the referees will lift the arm for warning signal, passive play. This is what happens now. And in that moment, the center back player, she knows that this will be the next step in the game. She knows that now her team will be under time pressure because the referees will give the forewarning signal. So in this position here, she advises the pivot, take a position, I will come to you, and then we will solve the situation. And this is what happens. In that moment, she's giving the signal. The arm of the referee will go up in that moment. So you can see referee is giving the forewarning signal. Center back is now here. And in the next step, she solves the situation in cooperation with the pivot. So this is, from my point of view, just an interpretation, but I think you can obviously see, clearly see, that this player is thinking ahead. So she is very fast in her mind. And this is what we want to have in our game. So that's how specific agility in handball should be defined as an activity of, on one side, motor aspects, moving very quick, but on the other side, cognitive aspects, observe, anticipate, think, and decide very quick. Now, in the next step, we have to find out how we can transfer this into our training. And this can be done in an easy way by using a so-called methodical formula. So this methodical formula is something which consists of two elements. The first element is what has been worked out in our training under the idea of specific agility. And the second is, how should it be worked out to create this specific agility? So these are the two questions, what and how. And now we will find the answers for those two questions. So the first question is, what elements do we have to train under the idea of specific agility in handball? And it's the movements, it's the techniques, and it's the game-specific actions. These are the three elements that players should be able to do very, very fast. Movements are all those basic motor elements like running, like jumping, which are used in sports, not only in handball, but in other sports too. So even players in basketball, in football, in other sports, they need to run and jump very fast. So movement is a general expression and it's not specific to the sport. The techniques to dribble, to pass and catch, to throw, and the defense techniques, they must be worked out very fast too. So dribbling right, left hand in a quick move, with a change of direction is very helpful. Catch and pass very quick, throw very fast. All those elements, they really must be worked out fast. And at the end, we have the so-called, and these elements are typical for our sport, because we have dribbling in football or hockey too. We have throwing in handball and in basketball, but now these elements, the techniques, they are specific for our sport. And finally, we have the game-specific actions. These are individual actions in defense or attack in one-on-one situations with and without ball. They depend on the opponent's actions, and they can be summarized under the term of individual chains of action. So which means a running feint without ball, catching the ball, passing the ball, moving to the other side, receive the ball again, feinting, maybe a pass, feinting, a throw, then making a move to the opposite side of the opponent. These are individual actions, basic attack movements, different types of feints, which the players should be able to combine one after the other very quick. But this is not only using the techniques, because the speed and the timing in these elements depend on the opponent's actions. Because if you make a running feint, then you move to one side, and hopefully the player in defense will react, and then you go to the other side. But in this element of running feint, you can move to that side, and if the player in defense reacts very fast, you go. If you go and the player in defense reacts later and slower, you have to wait and then to go. So the game-specific actions, they depend on the reaction of the opponents. This is something very important because the techniques, dribbling, pass and catch, throwing, this is isolated without any interference and dependence from opponent. But game actions, they come together with the opponent's influence. So again, we have those three elements: the movements, general, the techniques, specific, and the actions, really orientated on game actions, on game conduct or conduct in the game, depending on the opponents. So, and as you can see, those three elements, they are coming more and more specific, more and more complex, closer to our handball. So these three elements, the movements, the techniques, and the game actions, they should be worked out under the idea of specific agility in handball. The second question in that moment was how the players must do that specific agility is created. And that's obvious, they must do it under certain types of pressure. And there are three variations of pressure that we can give to the player so that they have to do all those elements, the movements, the techniques, and the game actions very speedy. First is time pressure. Second is variability pressure. And third is complexity pressure. Now, let me explain. Time pressure means we give them tasks that require time minimization, optimization, or speed maximization. So minimum time or maximum speed, this is almost the same. But optimization, this is a very important word in that moment, because this comes back to what we said before, to the game actions that must be adapted in the speed according to the opponent's reaction. So sometimes a feint with maximum speed is not useful, because if you do the first movement and the second movement very fast, maybe the defender was not reacting and you crash into the defender. So your speed must be adapted to the movement and the reaction of the defense. So speed must not be maximum, but optimum to the situation. So that's what is very, very important. We have to optimize. Second aspect here is variability pressure. This is given when the tasks that the players have to fulfill are constantly embedded in changing situations. It's not always the same situations. So for instance, if you run to the defense, let's say 5 times, the defender is not 5 times in the same position, because then it's easy to adapt to that situation. But if you run to that situation and the defense is a little bit far away, a little bit more open, a little bit more inside, a little bit more outside position, then variability is needed from the attacker's movement, because maybe you can shoot, maybe you can pass one-on-one, maybe it's the left side better, maybe it's the right side better. So the variability in that situation enforces the player, requires from the player that they adapt to that changing situations very quick. And this is something which is very important for the game, because normally we don't have in the game very often the same situation repeated and repeated and repeated, especially if the opponent's defense is a little bit clever. They will not allow the attackers to succeed in the same way like in the attack before and the other attack before and the other attack before. So if an attacker is successful with one action, for sure the defense must react and in the next moment take a different position. And then the player in attack has to adapt to that different position, and that's what we call variability pressure. The third is the so-called complexity pressure. in this moment, we offer the players some tasks with some 2, 3, or 4 different activities. They have to combine one after the other in a successive way, very quick. And we want them to work out this without stopping in between, without too much thinking in between. So it's the first feint without ball, it's the reception, it's the pass, it's the running around, it's the reception again, it's the feint, and it's the one-on-one move. It's not first move. Okay, what to do now? I have to receive the ball. Okay, what to now with the... If they always have to think about this, it takes too much time. So that's why we want the players in attack and defense to deal with those different successive activities very fast without interruption. And we call this complexity pressure. So these were the 2 questions we answered, what and how, and from that 2 answers we can build up the methodical formula. So if we want to work out specific agility in handball, we have to train movements, techniques, game-specific actions, and we have to work that out under time pressure, variability pressure, and complexity pressure. This is what to do and how to do. So in general, it's quite easy to understand. And this could be the methodical formula, but it's not completed. That's why I said it could be. There will be, or there's one element missing, which for agility is very important. And this is the element of motivating challenges and situations. So we need to work out this specific agility in situations, in tasks, in which the players need to work with almost maximum intensity. This is the situation, or in that moment, they really have to be fast in equal one-on-one situations with some elements of surprise. Then they have to react and speed up really fast. If they work with, let's say, 80 or 85% of speed, it's not agility. It's not the maximum we get from them. So the more motivating it is, the more challenging it is, the more they come to 90, 95% of their maximum speed. And then we are clearly in the field of really agile and speed movements in handball. So that's why we have this extension of our methodical formula. Then we have the movements, the techniques, the game-specific actions. Realize them under time pressure, variability pressure, and complexity pressure, and embedding them in motivating challenges and situations. This is what the players should do. And now we transfer this methodical formula into the examples for training. And this is quite interesting to see how we can transfer this idea in the different types of training. So we have running and jumping coordination, and this must be worked out under the idea of agility. We have little games, and again, in that way, we can introduce this idea. We have the one-on-one training and so-called open situations. You will find an example for this coming soon. We have the fast break and transition games, which really focus on that idea of agility. And we have complex forms of training. So I will give you some examples, and then you can see how this methodical formula is transferred. Let's see this challenge for the boys here. They start at the yellow coon. You can see it here. This is the yellow. And they run and touch a certain coon. Now, coach says 2, and they have to go to the second coon. So the player in front is using the red ones, number 1, number 2. This player is using the other ones, number 1, number 2. So they run to second coon, touch, and return to yellow. And now, very interesting, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3, but red 4, 5 on 6 on the other side. So if they now have to touch coon number 6, they have to cross on the way to that coon, and they have to cross on the way back when they return to their coon. 1 is easy, 5 again is crossing, and then find the way home. 2 coons means first 5, then 3, then going back. Now, let's transfer this into our idea of agility. They are moving very fast. It's not techniques, it's not game-specific action. It's just quick moving, no problem. It's time pressure because it's a challenge, it's a competition. Everyone tries to be faster than the other one. It's variability pressure because maybe it's 1, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 2. So different numbers are called out from the coach. So the different ways, they need to find the way very quick. And it's complexity pressure because it's not only one number. It's like in the example here, it's 3 numbers. So we have movements under time pressure, under variability pressure, and under complexity pressure. And it's a motivating situation, as you can see how they are fighting and running. Okay, second example here. Now this is quite difficult. Okay, just wait to get away. Okay, I have to stop the presentation once to get the pointer away. Hopefully it's going now. Okay, so in this situation, we have 2 teams, black team and yellow team, playing against each other. Both teams, they start with 1 black and 1 yellow in a square of coons on that side and square of coons on the other side. Okay, now there is a special structure in this drill because by the moment the drill starts, the players are moving inside the squares. And you can see that this player is making a movement inside the square. And like in a mirror, the yellow player on the other side follows. And for this couple, it's the same. Yellow on that side moves and black on the other side follows. So you can see it's like in a mirror. Now the coach, she was in possession of the ball and she dropped the ball in a certain moment. Now the players have to fight for the ball. Yellow team was getting it. And then it's a 2-on-2 situation. The players use to the other goal. So once again, they start, one side moving, other side following. And then in a certain moment, the ball is coming from the coach. Now, black team in ball possession and give and go and finalizing the attack. So in that moment, you can see 2 phases in that drill. The first phase is when the players are moving in the square, one side moving, other side following. Second phase is when they fight for the ball and solve the 2-on-2 situation towards the goal. The very important moment is just when they switch from phase number 1 to phase number 2. Because while they are running around in the squares, they have to be fast. So they make movements under time pressure, variability pressure, and complexity pressure. But by the time they move, they still have to observe whether the coach is dropping the ball or not. And from that signal, very quick, they have to react and fight for the ball. When they fight for the ball, then it's an open situation, because maybe yellow team will get in ball position, maybe black team will get into ball possession. And this means that the task that follows out of that ball possession, will you be defender or will you be attacker, is coming from the signal of who is getting the ball. And then very quick decision has to be made. As an attacker, to run free. As a defender, find your personal opponent and get attached to him. So then in that second phase, we have game-specific actions, one-on-one or two-on-two, you might say. And again, under time pressure, under variability pressure, because you don't know whether you will be attacker or defender. And complexity pressure is given because first phase, second phase, very quick, has to be combined in that drill. So in that way, we can transfer this methodical formula from theory to the practical use in that drill in the situation showed here. Okay. One more example from fast break. Now you can see a so-called transition game. This transition game is something quite interesting because, again, we see two phase or the structure of that drill in two phases. Now the first phase is the ball circulation from that side of the court to the other side. And you can see the two teams. It's yellow with 3 and blue with only 2 players. There are 2 balls that the players are circulating or passing when they run. So they start, one ball is going from outside, half, center, and back again. Other ball is starting from center, going outside and back again. So they circulate the ball very quick. This was the first phase. Okay, let's see how it's happening. And pass to the wing. Okay, now, in that moment, when they start with the 2 balls, they must make a decision. The players must make a decision whether they shoot this ball to the goal or whether they shoot this ball to the goal. This decision is made here. They have to talk about that. The goalkeeper on the other side should not know. So, but as the ball is circulated, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow again, then it's not known which player shoots, because when they come close to the goal, now the coach announces shoot. So the probability is, or it's possible that blue team will shoot or yellow team will shoot. This depends on the passing of the ball. So now yellow team is shooting. And now the second phase is starting. It's the fast break to the other side. And now you can see that blue team was in attack. The reason is that the result of the goal shot is defining which team should start. So now see it in slow motion once again. Yellow team shooting, but they fail. Goalkeeper was saving the ball. And this is the signal. If yellow team is shooting and not scoring, blue team will get into ball possession. If yellow team is shooting and scoring, yellow team will receive the ball. And then we have a very nice situation here, because now it's 3 players from yellow, but 2 from blue. So now the fast break is a 2 against 3, but they're doing it in a nice way, and they finalize, even they are 1 player less. So see it once again. Circulation of the ball. Again, yellow team was not scoring, blue team receiving the ball. Now, circulation of the ball, and yellow team shooting. Yellow was scoring. Now, goalkeeper brings the ball into the game, and yellow team now in attack, and 3 against 2. So again, here we have the techniques of passing under time pressure. We have now the game-specific action in a 3 against 2 or 2 against 3 situation in fast break. We have time pressure. We have variability pressure, because you never know, will you be attacker or defender in the fast break. And we have complexity pressure, because we start in one way. And then the transition point is the most important point in that game. Now, when the result of the shoot is defining whether there will be yellow or blue team in attack. So again, you can see that our basic formula, the basic elements, what to do and how to do, are working in that. Okay. Coming to the last example, it's an example of a complex type of training. In this moment, the players in the backcourt, they have to solve a situation one-on-one without ball, and then they receive the pass and they shoot. So you can see here, pivot is coming up, running free to receive the ball. So this is the pivot here. Backcourt player is passing the ball to the pivot. Then in a certain area, I think it's this line, the defense will stop. So we have this one-on-one without ball. And now, as you see, this is the marking of the coon. So in this moment, the defense is stopping. Now the player, after this one-on-one situation without ball, is receiving the ball, but immediately second defender is coming for a block. So it's one-on-one without ball, and then shooting very quick. And in this again, we have the techniques. We have time pressure, because after receiving the ball, it's not a long time till you have to make your decision how to shoot. It's variability pressure, because in this one-on-one situation, sometimes you move inside, sometimes you move outside. This depends on the situation. And it's complexity pressure. First, the one-on-one without ball, and then the shooting. So again, you can see how the methodical formula is working in that drill. Pass, fight one-on-one, receive, and very quick make the decision. So once again, can see it here, pass, then we have intensity in that situation, receive the ball, and then observe and shoot. The same we can do with the one-on-one without ball, and afterwards a one-on-one with ball. That's possible too. So it's not only the shooting, it's the one-on-one that is possible after receiving the ball from the pivot again. So now they are still shooting. Later on, you will see the one-on-one with ball after that. Okay, now it's coming. And second defender is here. So once again, pass, feint without ball, receive the ball, and now only short time after reception of the ball, read the movement, read the situation of second defender coming, and find a clever solution, a successful solution to go around. And as you can see here, just the other way. Now, feint inside, but now defense is coming outside with the ball. So this is the so-called variability in the actions. So again, you could see the movements, the techniques, the game-specific actions under the idea of time pressure, variability pressure, and complexity pressure. And as you could see from the examples at the beginning, almost embedded in challenging and motivating situations. Okay. I'm sorry for the problems with the presentation. I don't know what happened, but I hope that everybody could follow everything. Okay, let's go for the chat. And start from the beginning. Where is the first question coming? Let us know about specific game-like situation exercises in all positions. Okay, so every time you work in training with an intensive fight of players in their positions, attack against defense, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, the wings, the backs, the pivot, then defense and attack can take a benefit from that. So the more your training is orientated on the game demands and needs, the more it is like a game situation, the better it is for decision making, and it's not boring anymore. 30 points of time is because the fast break. Kindly let us know the different agility exercises related to fast break situations, different players in the coaching period. So fast break will be our topic tomorrow. Which are the specifics elements that differentiate a professional player, a top class player from an amateur player? Sorry, this is a question away from that topic. How important specific for a goalkeeper and how to develop it? Specific agility for goalkeeper, yes, because especially when they should initiate the fast break, then maybe the ball is behind the goal area line, they have to take it and then very quick have to observe what's in front of them, maybe pass to the right, maybe pass to the left, maybe short, maybe long distance pass. So this is a typical situation for the goalkeepers. So please, as an easy example, give the ball to the goalkeeper, but make the goalkeeper turn away from the player that is running free. Then the ball is coming to the goalkeeper, and by the time the goalkeeper turns, he has only short time to realize the situation in front of him and to give the ball. So then maybe you can have two players, one player on the right and one player on the left side for fast break, and then one of them is running only. So after the rotation, the goalkeeper must see is right player running or is left player running, and then make a decision. Afterwards, they can run both, but one defender is in between. Defender must make a clear decision, go to the right or to the left attacker. And again, goalkeeper must see, okay, defender to the right, I pass to the left. So this is typical training for specific agility. But don't allow the goalkeepers to observe that situation for a long time. You must produce time pressure. And you can do that by turning the goalkeeper around and then after a certain signal going and very short time to take the information. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and that's it. So, Mr. Mohinder, are you ready to take over?
Thank you, Mr. Klaus. You have again given us a very interesting topic and very nicely bifurcated part by part, like development, definitions, then examples. Then you have explained in such a way that what is motor components, what are the cognitive components, and I think our coaches must have understood very nicely. Then you have explained again about the methodical formula, that movements, techniques, then game specific actions, very nicely we observed. Then you have explained again time pressure, variability, and complexity transition. Then you have given so many examples through the videos, and we understood that you have explained running and jumping coordination, little games, 1-1 situation, then complex situation, fast break. I think there will be no doubt for our coaches. It was really a very interesting topic from your side. So thank you very much, Mr. Klaus. It is a valuable for us.
My pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you tomorrow for the fast break.
Yes, yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. So dear colleagues, so it was a basic, as he has explained, and it is very nicely made that topic by him. Presentation was okay. So now I request Mr. Harinder Pal to kindly explain in Hindi to our participants.
Thank you, Mohinder. Today, it was a very interesting chapter, interesting session on agility. तो हमारे यहाँ सबसे पहले हम बताएं कि हम जो एजिलिटी का पार्ट ट्रेन कर रहे हैं और जो क्लॉस ने बताया उसमें डिफरेंस काफी कुछ हैं कि हम ज्यादातर हमारे जो मैं वीडियोस देखता हूं या जो हमारे कोचेस डाल देते हैं फेसबुक के ऊपर, तो वो एक तरह की जो है मोटर एस्पेक्ट, जो बेसिक एजिलिटी है, उसको डील करके वो ट्रेन कर रहे हैं। पर ऐसा नहीं है। जहां स्पेसिफिक एजिलिटी की बात आती है तो वहां हमारे पास करने को बहुत कुछ है, तो उसके ऊपर एम्फसाइज आज किया गया है। तो जब हम डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं तो डेवलपमेंट के अंदर बहुत सारी जो पॉइंट्स हैं उनका ध्यान रखा जाता है कि जो हम ट्रेन करते हैं इसको हम पहले तो स्टार्ट से करें, और क्योंकि गेम की जो डेवलपमेंट हो रही है वो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स के ऊपर हो रही है। एक गेम बहुत फास्ट चल रहा है, विद हाई स्पीड खेला जा रहा है, तो वहां हमें स्पीड की आवश्यकता जो है वो बहुत जरूरी है। तो क्लॉस ने हमारे डिमांड्स के अंदर ये बताया था कि अगर कोई आदमी बहुत तेज स्पीड के साथ खेल सकता है तो वो धीरे भी खेल सकता है, बट अगर हमारा कोई प्लेयर धीरे खेलने की आदत डालता है तो वो स्पीड से नहीं खेल सकता। तो डिफरेंस जो है ट्रेनिंग का सबसे पहले यहाँ आ जाता है। तो क्योंकि गेम बहुत हाई स्पीड के ऊपर खेला जाता है तो इसलिए हमारी जो एजिलिटी वर्कआउट है उसकी भी ट्रेनिंग फास्ट होनी चाहिए, बहुत स्पीड से होनी चाहिए। अगर आप चाहते हैं गेम बदले तो हमें फास्ट खेलना होगा, ठीक है, स्टार्ट से। दूसरी बात उन्होंने बोली कि जो डिफेंस है आजकल बहुत एक्टिव पार्ट प्ले कर रहा है डिफेंस के अंदर, और जिसकी वजह से बहुत सारे टर्नओवर होते हैं गेम के अंदर। टर्नओवर का मतलब है कि आपको बॉल मिल गई, डिफेंस की वजह से आपने प्रेशराइज किया अपोनेंट को गलती करने के लिए, उसने बॉल दे दी या किसी वजह से, तो वहां पर आपको अटैक के लिए जाना पड़ता है। ठीक है, तो हायर नंबर ऑफ अटैक्स जो हैं वो होते हैं गेम के अंदर बिकॉज ऑफ टर्नओवर। तो और साथ साथ में ये बताया था कि जो फास्ट ब्रेक है परसेंटेज, और मैंने भी एक फास्ट ब्रेक के ऊपर थोड़ा सा स्टडी किया था, वहां पर 40 से 50% जो है फास्ट ब्रेक्स लगती हैं। कई बार फर्स्ट हाफ में ज्यादा होती हैं, कई बार सेकंड हाफ में ज्यादा होती हैं। तो आप अनुमान लगा सकते हैं कि अगर फास्ट ब्रेक ज्यादा है तो इसका मतलब गेम बहुत फास्ट चला है, टर्नओवर ज्यादा हुए हैं और स्कोर भी ज्यादा ही होगा, परसेंटेज स्कोरिंग बढ़ जाती है। जैसे उन्होंने 50% बताया है गेम का, तो ऐसे अलग अलग वर्ल्ड कप्स के अंदर परसेंटेज जो है वो बढ़ जाती है। और तीसरा उन्होंने बताया कि रूल चेंजेस की वजह से, तो रूल बड़े महत्वपूर्ण है। उन्होंने पहले बताया कि जो क्विक रैपिड प्ले है या फास्ट थ्रो किया जाता था, थ्रो ऑफ किया जाता था आफ्टर गोल, वो सेंटर से शुरू हो गया। तो आपको जल्दी भागना पड़ता है डिफेंस के लिए और अटैक के लिए, दोनों के लिए पीछे आना पड़ता है, तो वो गेम फास्ट हो गया। ठीक, और साथ साथ में जो प्लेयर द्वारा कटिंग की जाती थी और गोलकीपर को उसकी पोजीशन के ऊपर जाकर थ्रो करना पड़ता था जहां पर कटिंग हुई थी, तो वो गेम को डिले करता था। तो अब ऐसा रूल आने के बाद में गोलकीपर गोल एरिया से कहीं से भी स्टार्ट कर सकता है, तो वो उसने गेम को फास्ट कर दिया। और एक चीज और मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि फास्ट होने का एक पैसिविटी का प्ले भी है जिसके अंदर आपकी लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ पासेस हैं। अभी मैं हंगरी में IHF का सेमिनार अटेंड करके आया हूं और हो सकता है आपको नई इंफॉर्मेशन मैं दे रहा हूं कि 2022 में जो 8 पासेस थी वो 5 तक रह जाए, 5 पासेस तक, क्योंकि वहां डिस्कशन चला था 5 पासेस का। तो आने वाले समय के अंदर हो सकता है ये रूल 8 पास से 5 पास का हो जाए। तो ये मैं आपको एक प्री बता रहा हूं, कितना आएगा कितना नहीं, पर उन्होंने उधर वहां पर डिस्कस करके बताया था, तो कि हो सकता है गेम को और फास्ट कर दें। तो ये डेवलपमेंट जो है वो आगे आएगी। ठीक है, तो हमारे पास जो मेथोडिकल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं डेवलपमेंट के लिए, तो वो क्या ये हैं किस तरीके से। तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने बताया कि हमें बहुत जरूरी है कि बहुत जल्दी हम ऑब्जर्व करें गेम को, ऑब्जर्व करें के बाद, क्योंकि जितनी जल्दी हम इन सारी चीजों को ऑब्जर्व करेंगे तो हमारा जो सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम है वो इंफॉर्मेशन क्विकली पास करेगा और उसके साथ साथ ही उसको प्रोसेस करेगा। तो प्रोसेस करके आपको एक्शन लेने के लिए बोलेगा, तो आप क्विक एक्शन जो है वो ले सकते हैं बिकॉज जो प्रोसेस है वो बड़ा क्विक चल रहा है सीएनएस में। दूसरा है कि उन्होंने मेथोडिकल स्टेप्स में आपकी हायर डिमांड का एम्फसाइज किया है, उसके ऊपर हायर डिमांड्स फुटवर्क के ऊपर। तो बेसिक है कि हम फुटवर्क को निग्लेक्ट करते जा रहे हैं। फुटवर्क बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है कि कभी आपको आगे की तरफ जाना होता है, कभी आपको पीछे की तरफ जाना होता है, कभी साइड की तरफ जाना होता है, कभी आपको फास्ट ब्रेक के लिए भागना पड़ता है, कभी आपको फेंट मारना पड़ता है। तो इन सारी चीजों की जो डिमांड्स हैं वो हायर हैं, तो इसलिए आपको इन चीजों के ऊपर ध्यान करना पड़ेगा, ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा कि आप इन चीजों को ट्रेन करें। तो इम्प्रूवमेंट जो है आपकी गेम की, आप बॉल के साथ हैं, बॉल के विदाउट हैं, आप फेंट को अप्लाई करते हैं, कैसे अप्लाई करते हैं। और मैं आपको एक चीज बताना चाहता हूं कि बहुत सारे लोग हैं वो ये समझते हैं कि जो फेंट्स हैं वो ज्यादातर बॉल के साथ होते हैं। ऐसा नहीं है, विदाउट बॉल के साथ जो प्लेयर हैं उनका रोल ज्यादा होता है और उनके फेंट्स भी ज्यादा, वेरियस फेंट्स। अब सबसे पहले बात आती है रनिंग फेंट्स की। तो रनिंग के अंदर हम ज्यादातर क्या करते हैं, जब भी भागते हैं हम एक दिशा में भागते हैं, स्ट्रेट लाइन हो या कुछ है, तो ऐसा नहीं है। तो जो भागना है वो डिफरेंट डायरेक्शंस के अंदर, अब्रप्ट रन्स, चेंजिंग ऑफ डायरेक्शन हो सकती हैं, जिग-जैग रन हो सकता है, स्टॉप और गो हो सकता है। तो ये सारी जो तरीके हैं रनिंग के, ये इंक्लूड किए जाते हैं फेंट्स के अंदर जब भी हम इन चीजों को ट्रेन करते हैं। तो ये है, हम स्टैटिक पोजीशन से हैं, हम कौन सी पोजीशन पे हैं, तो स्टैटिक पोजीशन है या कहीं और खेल रहे हैं, तो वहां से हम स्टार्ट करना है। तो हमें जो है गेम की इंटेंसिटी को कैसे बढ़ाना है, एकदम क्विकली हमें मूव करना है। तो ये सारी चीजों को हमने ध्यान। तो इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ ट्रांजिशन, तो ट्रांजिशन मींस आपको बदलाव करना है, स्विच ओवर करना है फ्रॉम, हो सकता है आपके पास बॉल है और आपने बॉल को लूज कर दिया, तो अटैक से आपको डिफेंस के ऊपर वापस आना पड़ा। तो ऐसे समय में आपको क्विकली रियलाइज करके आपको फटाफट एक्शन लेना पड़ेगा। फिर उसके बाद आपकी टेक्निक्स जो हैं, थ्रोइंग टेक्निक्स हैं, आपको फटाफट जल्दी से ये डिसाइड करना है कि कौन सी टेक्निक का मैं इस्तेमाल कर सकूं उस समय में, जो भी स्थिति वहां हुई है। हो सकता है लॉन्ग डिफेंडर है, उसके ऊपर से आपको टेक्निक का इस्तेमाल कौन सा करना है। तो ये क्विक जो है डिसीजन लेना और उसको थ्रो के अंदर बदलना, कौन सी टेक्निक के साथ, ये आपको ज्ञान होना चाहिए, और उन्होंने इस बात का ऊपर ध्यान दिया। फिर उसके बाद आई थी कि मोटर कंपोनेंट्स को उन्होंने बताया था कि मोटर कंपोनेंट्स के अंदर सबसे पहले जो है हमें कोऑर्डिनेटिव जो एबिलिटीज हैं उनका ध्यान रखना चाहिए, कि उनको ट्रेन करना चाहिए, रनिंग, जंपिंग, थ्रोइंग, तो इन चीजों के। तो उन्होंने एक एग्जांपल भी दिया था कि एक 100 मीटर 110 हर्डल भाग रहा है, तो उसके पास ट्रेनिंग के अंदर पता है कि इतने डिस्टेंस के ऊपर हर्डल आएगा, तो उसके जो स्टेप्स हैं और जो स्ट्राइड लेंथ है, और वो सारी नपी तुली होती है। अगर कहीं गड़बड़ होगी तो उसकी नेचुरली स्पीड कम हो जाएगी, और वो फिक्स्ड पार्ट है, उसी डिस्टेंस के ऊपर है, उसने ट्रेन भी वैसा किया है। पर अगर हम उसको कंपेयर करें हैंडबॉल के साथ, हैंडबॉल में फिक्स कुछ चीज नहीं है, हर समय वेरिएट करता है, कंडीशंस जो हैं वेरिएट करती हैं, और हमें उसके हिसाब से ही सोचना, क्योंकि हैंडबॉल जो है फ्लेक्सिबल है और वेरियस मूवमेंट्स हैं इसके अंदर हमें चाहिए। हमें एक्सलेट करना पड़ता है, हमें जंप करना पड़ता है, हमें स्ट्रेंथ चाहिए। तो ये सारी चीजों की बात। दूसरी बात उन्होंने कंडीशनल जो बताई थी कि स्टार्टिंग स्पीड, तो हमें कई बार बहुत स्पीड से काम करना पड़ता है, हमें जंपिंग स्ट्रेंथ भी है, बिकॉज टू जंप ओवर, हमें डिफेंडर्स के ऊपर से जंप जो करना है, और फिर उसके बाद थ्रो करना है, तो थ्रोइंग स्ट्रेंथ भी उन्होंने बताया है, उसको डेवलप करना है। रिएक्टिव स्ट्रेंथ मीन्स आपकी रिएक्शंस किसी स्थिति को देखकर कैसी हैं, आप डिसीजन ले पाते हैं अच्छा, तो वो सारी चीजें उन्होंने बताई। तो कॉग्निटिव के अंदर उन्होंने स्पीड ऑफ परसेप्शन का बताया कि आपको सबसे पहले एक इंफॉर्मेशन को रिसीव करना है, तो जितनी स्पीड से आप रिसीव करेंगे, सोचेंगे, देखेंगे, ऑब्जर्व करेंगे, तो वो परसेप्शन जो है, और ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशंस को कलेक्ट करके उतनी स्पीड से सीएनएस के पास, और फिर उसके बाद आप उसी स्पीड से एंटीसिपेट कर सकते हैं, एंटीसिपेट उसके अगेंस्ट में कैसे काम करना, एंटीसिपेट ये। फिर उसके बाद जो है आपका डिसीजन मेकिंग है वो स्पीड से हो, ठीक है। डिसीजन मेकिंग स्पीड से आपने फटाफट डिसीजन लिया, आपने उसके बाद में रिएक्टिव स्पीड, और उसके बाद आपने कैसे रिएक्शंस किए और कैसे अपने आप को बदला और चेंज किया मौके के हिसाब से। तो ये सारी चीजें उन्होंने इस चीज के अंदर बताई। फिर उन्होंने जो बताया वो था कि आपको गेम को ऑब्जर्व करना है, तो आपको क्विक रिएक्शंस की जरूरत पड़ती है, क्योंकि क्विक रिएक्शन से आप इंटरसेप्ट कर सकते हैं, आप डिफ्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं बॉल को, तो बॉल का टर्नओवर हो सकता है। तो अगर आप अपॉर्चुनिटी को देखते हैं, कभी भी आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है, सपोज कि आपके सामने थोड़ा सा गैप था और आप बॉल के साथ थे, तो आप जल्दी से स्कोर कर सकते हैं। आपके पिवट प्लेयर खाली था, उसको आप जल्दी से पास कर सकते हैं। तो ये जो डिसीशंस हैं, ये आप तभी ले सकते हैं जब आप ऑब्जर्व करेंगे और उस मौके का फायदा आप उठाएंगे। तो ये दिस वाज विद दिस। नाउ उन्होंने बहुत सारी चीजों के ऊपर जो था आगाह कराया कि गेम सिचुएशंस के अंदर उन्होंने हमारे को वीडियोस बताई। वीडियोस के अंदर उन्होंने डिफरेंट जो सिचुएशंस दिखाई, भी प्लेयर की जो पोजीशन थी और उसने गेम के साथ आगे बढ़ा या पास दिया, पिवट को पास दिया। तो ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, ये आपकी निर्णय लेने की क्षमता को दर्शाती हैं। तो उन्होंने ट्रेन करने के लिए मेथोडिकल जो फॉर्मूला हमारे को एक्सरसाइजेस के अंदर बताया, तो उन्होंने कुछ चीजों को एम्फसाइज किया। तो वो था टाइम प्रेशर, वेरिएबिलिटी प्रेशर मींस वेरियस तरीके से टास्क, एंड फिर वेरिएशंस इन टास्क रिक्वायरिंग जो था चेंजिंग सिचुएशंस के दौरान। फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने बताया कि अगर अपोनेंट का बिहेवियर जो है वो चेंज होता है, बिहेवियर मींस उसके एक्शंस चेंज होते हैं, तो ऐसे समय में आपको टास्क को और अपने एक्शंस को चेंज करना पड़ेगा, बहुत ही फास्ट या बहुत ही क्विकली चेंज करना पड़ेगा। दूसरा उन्होंने जब मेथोडिकल स्टेप्स में बताया कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी प्रेशर, तो किसी चीज को जब हम करते हैं तो उसमें हमें कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्शंस को डालना पड़ेगा। तो लार्ज नंबर जो है कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्शंस डिमांड करते हैं एक ही एक्शन के अंदर। जैसे हम कैच पास कर सकते हैं, ड्रिबल कर सकते हैं, फेंट कर सकते हैं, थ्रो ऑन बोल सकते हैं। तो हमारे एक ही एक्शन के अंदर बहुत सारी कॉम्प्लेक्स चीजें जो है हम ऐड कर सकते हैं जब हम मेथोडिकल स्टेप्स के अंदर चलते हैं। अटैक फास्ट हो सकता है एंड कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्सरसाइज के साथ, वेरियस एक्शंस के साथ। और फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने हमें जो एक्सरसाइजेस बताई है, वो सबसे पहले उन्होंने 2 बच्चों की एक्सरसाइज बताई, कोन्स लगाए। कोन्स लगाए तो खास बात कोन्स की ये थी कि जो कोन्स लगाई थी, कुछ कोन्स तो सेम कलर की थी, कुछ कोन्स जो थी वो अलग कलर की थी। तो कहने का मतलब है कि जब वो ट्रेन कर रहे थे, पहले सीधे पाथ में ट्रेन करते थे कि जो ब्लू वाला था वो ब्लू कोन को टच कर रहा था, रेड वाला था जो रेड कोन को टच कर रहा था। तो उनकी जो डायरेक्शन या दिशा थी वो सीधी थी और एक पाथ में थी। तो वहां पर सिंपल जो था प्रोसेस था और बेसिक्स वहां ऐड था। अभी थोड़ी सी स्पेसिफिसिटी जो है उन्होंने ऐड की, और वो था कि अब जो रेड कोन थी सीधे ना होकर जो ब्लू कोन वाले एरिया में रेड कोन डाली थी, तो नंबर्स के ऊपर, तो प्लेयर्स को सीधा भागकर फिर तिरछा भागना पड़ रहा था और दूसरे प्लेयर को भी सीधा भागकर तिरछा भागना पड़ता है। तो थोड़ी सी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी उसके अंदर आ गई, टाइम प्रेशर आ गया क्योंकि कॉम्पिटिटिव है। जब भी आप ट्रेन करते हैं तो कॉम्पिटिटिव ट्रेन करें तो बहुत अच्छी बात है एजिलिटी के लिए। तो वहां पर स्पिरिट भी होती है, आपको टाइम का प्रेशर भी है, गेम जैसा होता है। फिर आपकी जो विल पावर स्ट्रांग होती है, मोटिवेट रहते हैं दूसरे के साथ। तो इन चीजों के ऊपर भी ध्यान देना चाहिए। तो दूसरी एक्सरसाइज उसने हमारे को बताई कि जो फिक्स नहीं थी, जहां पर आपके एक्शंस बदलते थे, तो वो ये था कि देर 4 होने थी, 2-2 प्लेयर थे, 2 on 2 था, 2 ब्लैक और 2 रेड। तो वहां पर एक कोच था, कोच इंस्ट्रक्शन दे रहा था फॉरवर्ड मूवमेंट और ये, तो जो सामने के प्लेयर थे वो उसके मुताबिक एक्शन कर रहे थे और सडनली कोच ने बॉल को नीचे रख दिया। तो वहां पर जो भी टीम, तो आपकी फाइटिंग स्पिरिट जो है वो भी वहां पर जो है दिख गई कि जो पहले बॉल को लेगा तो वो अटैकर है। तो वहां पर जिसने बॉल को पहले लिया वो अटैकर हो गया। अब दूसरे प्लेयर को अब डिफेंसिव प्लेयर बनना पड़ा। तो वहां पर ये देखिए कि टर्नओवर के बाद में आपको अपने एक्शंस को चेंज करना पड़ेगा। आपका टास्क चेंज हो गया, आपकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी जो ट्रेनिंग है वो है, क्योंकि आपको पीछे आना है, दूसरे प्लेयर को डिफेंस करना है, कभी वो पास इसको दे सकता है, कभी नहीं दे सकता। तो ये जो है आपकी ट्रेनिंग के अंदर ये सारी चीजें, आपको टाइम प्रेशर की ट्रेनिंग हो गई, आपको वेरिएबिलिटी आपकी प्रेशर की ट्रेनिंग हो गई, आपको कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी का जो प्रेशर है वो हो गया। फिर आपको मोटिवेटिंग है, क्योंकि आप एक दूसरे के साथ कॉम्पिटिटिव जो है गेम खेल रहे हैं, तो वहां पर आपका क्षमता जो है वो बढ़ रही है। और दूसरी एक्सरसाइज में भी इन सारी चीजों का जो है ट्रेनिंग हो रही है। तीसरी पार्ट जो थी जिसके अंदर उन्होंने एक बहुत ही अलग कॉम्प्लेक्स से अलग बताया, तो वो था कि 5 लोग थे जिसके अंदर 3 येलो जर्सी के थे, 2 ब्लू जर्सी के थे। वो पासिंग के साथ जाते हैं, 2 बॉल उनके पास में है, तो वहां पर जाने के बाद एक एंड से दूसरे एंड के ऊपर जो गोलकीपर है वो तैयार रहता है, पर उसको ये नहीं पता कि कौन प्लेयर शूट करेगा। अब कोच की विसल या सिग्नल के बाद में या येलो शूट करता है या ब्लू शूट करता है, तो वहां पर अब गोलकीपर को शूट किया येलो ने, तो अगर गोल होता है तो अगेन वो अटैक के अंदर होंगे, अगर नहीं है तो उनको जल्दी से डिफेंस के लिए भागना पड़ेगा, और जो ब्लू हैं वो जल्दी से अटैक पे जा सकते हैं। तो वहां अटैक 2 वर्सेस 3 भी हो जाता है। तो आपकी जो टाइम का है, वेरिएबिलिटी प्रेशर है, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी प्रेशर है, ट्रांजिशन है, अब क्योंकि आप अटैकर से डिफेंडर या डिफेंडर से अटैकर, वॉट एवर इट इज, वो चेंज होता है। तो वहां पर आप इन सारी चीजों को ट्रेन कर सकते हैं। तो कॉम्प्लेक्स जो ट्रेनिंग है वो आप कर सकते हैं इन चीजों। तो अब जब भी ट्रेन करते हैं तो ऐसी एक्सरसाइजेस जो हैं उनको आप ध्यान में रखिए, मद्देनजर रखिए। तो आप ट्रेन जो है 1-on-1 विदाउट बॉल फेंट्स के साथ कर सकते हैं, रिसीव करके पास कर सकते हैं। ये उन्होंने एक अलग एक्सरसाइज में बताया, जो लास्ट में बताया, तो उसको गेम लाइक सिचुएशंस में हम उसको प्लेइंग फॉर्म भी बोल देते हैं। तो एक प्लेयर 9 मीटर से बाहर था, उसका डिफेंडर भी बाहर था, एक जो पिवट का प्लेयर था वो अंदर था, और उसका डिफेंसिव प्लेयर भी अंदर था। अब पिवट बाहर निकला तो अटैकर ने वहां से बॉल पिवट को दी, और उसने विदाउट बॉल फेंट मार के अपने इंडिविजुअल अटैकर जो 9 मीटर के बाहर था उसको क्रॉस करके और बॉल को रिसीव किया। रिसीव करने के बाद में जो पिवट का डिफेंसिव प्लेयर था उसने एक्शन डिफेंस का उसकी तरफ किया। तो वहां पर अब उसको डिसीजन लेना है, क्योंकि ऑल ऑफ अ सडन डिफेंडर आगे आ गया। अब वो पिवट को पास देता है, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ गई, आपके गेम के मुताबिक आपने अच्छा एक्शन किया, पास दे दिया और गोल हो गया। तो कई बार अगर डिफेंडर नहीं आता या आप जल्दी हैं तो आप खुद भी शूट कर सकते हैं। तो इस तरह की जो ड्रिल्स थी वो हुई। फिर दूसरे एक्शन के अंदर उन्होंने उसको बॉल दिया, उसने उसके प्ले अराउंड किया और पास दिया। तो ये सारे एक्शंस जो हैं ये आपको अच्छा ट्रेन जरूर करते हैं, क्योंकि ये स्पेसिफिक एजिलिटी का पार्ट है कि आप कितनी फुर्ती के साथ कितने क्विक डिसीजन करते हैं, और बहुत ही कम समय में। क्योंकि जितने भी अटैक आप देखते हैं टीम अटैक करती हैं वो बहुत कम समय में, विद इन 30 सेकेंड से एक अटैक खत्म हो जाता है। कई बार इससे भी कम अटैक जो है 15-20 सेकेंड्स में भी खत्म हो जाता है। तो आपको खेलना जल्दी है, निर्णय जल्दी लेने हैं, आपकी स्पेसिफिक एजिलिटी की जो ट्रेनिंग है वो अच्छी होनी चाहिए। जब हम कंपेयर करते हैं इन चीज़ों को बाहर के साथ, अभी भी स्टैटिक्स फॉरेन में आया था कि 2 टीमों की स्टैटिक्स थी कि किस टीम ने कितना खेला और कितने नंबर ऑफ अटैक्स किए। तो ये सारी चीज़ें अभी हाई लेवल के ऊपर करीबन इक्वल ही चलती हैं, बट इंडिविजुअल प्लेयर के द्वारा निर्णय लिया गया बहुत काउंट करता है, और वो ही डिसाइडिंग या विनिंग फैक्टर बन जाता है। धन्यवाद आपका। मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि जो हम स्कोर्स देखते हैं ज्यादातर एक गोल का डिफरेंस होता है लास्ट में। तो मेरे पास बहुत सारे उदाहरण हैं, मैं आपको दे सकता हूं कि डिसीजन मेकिंग कहां पर गड़बड़ हो जाती है। 2017 वर्ल्ड कप का मैच था जहां पर क्रोएशिया की टीम जीत रही थी, अनफॉर्चुनेटली बराबर आ गई और साथ में पेनल्टी मिल गई, लास्ट 1 सेकंड में गेम समाप्त हो गया। तो जो प्लेयर पूरे मैच में उसने पेनल्टी ली और हर पेनल्टी स्कोर की, और लास्ट में जब गेम समाप्त हो गया अकेला उसने पेनल्टी लेनी थी, टीम जीत जानी थी और स्कोर हो जाना था। बट अब आप देख लीजिए, प्रेशर ने यहाँ काम किया, उसने पेनल्टी बाहर मार दी। इक्वल स्कोर के बाद टाइम समाप्त तो था ही था, अब एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मिला, उसमें क्रोएशिया हार गया। तो आप देखिए, जहां जीत सकता था वहां हार गया। तो ये चीजें टाइम प्रेशर और डिसीजन मेकिंग का होता है। प्रेशर बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है, तो ये आपको सोचना है, आपको ट्रेन करना है अपने प्लेयर को। आप सब लोगों का धन्यवाद। आज का सेशन आपके लिए बहुत अच्छा रहा। ओवर टू मिस्टर महेंद्र।
थैंक यू मिस्टर, वेरी नाइस। आपने हिंदी में बयान किया और हमें पूरी आस है कि जो हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, हमारे सीनियर जूनियर कोचेज हैं, उन्होंने इसका अच्छी तरह से हिंदी में जो ट्रांसलेशन था उसको सुना। सो आई विल टेक ओनली 1 मिनट, मे बी लेस देन दैट। सो जैसे कि हरिंदर जी ने सभी जो टॉपिक को पूरा किया है, फिर भी मैं इसमें बता दूं कि जैसे कुछ हिंदी भाषी जो हमारे कोचेज हैं, कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटी जो है वो ज़्यादा ऐसे समझने में डिफिकल्ट नहीं है। इट्स ए स्टडी ऑफ माइंड। ये आपके माइंड की स्टडी है कि इसमें आप क्या देखते हैं, क्या फील करते हैं, क्या स्मेल करते हैं, ये उसके बारे में है। जैसे मोटर एबिलिटीज में उसने मूवमेंट्स ऑफ द बॉडी, जंपिंग, थ्रोइंग, क्विक थ्रो ऑफ थ्रोइंग, ये उसने डील किया है। सो इसमें क्या है कि जैसे सेंसर नर्व्स कब काम करती हैं, कैसे करती हैं। एक एग्जांपल है कि जैसे एक टीम के ऊपर गोल हो गया और गोलकीपर बॉल को नेट से निकाल रहा है, मगर वो जब पास करता है तो वो क्विक थ्रो ऑफ के लिए नहीं कर रहा, अपने प्लेयर को देख ही नहीं रहा, क्योंकि उसकी जो सेंसरी नर्व है, जो उसका कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटी है, वो डेवलप नहीं हुई। अदरवाइज गोलकीपर नीचे बॉल को जब उठाता है तो पहले वो सेंटर लाइन पे देखता है कि क्विक थ्रो ऑफ के लिए, रैपिड प्ले के लिए मेरा प्लेयर रेडी है कि नहीं ऑन स्पॉट। सो हाउ दिस कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटी, जो स्टडी ऑफ माइंड है, ये सबसे ज्यादा काम करता है। डिसीजन मेकिंग में भी यही काम करता है कि आपने पास नियर बाय प्लेयर को देनी है या यू हैव टू स्टार्ट वेरी फास्ट इन ए रैपिड प्ले। सो इन रैपिड प्ले उसने बोला है कि रैपिड प्ले इज आल्सो लाइक ए काउंटर अटैक, फर्स्ट वेव, सेकंड वेव, थर्ड वेव एंड क्विक स्टार्ट। सो दूसरा उसने जो बोला है वो बोला है कि वेरिएबिलिटी। सो यू शुड बी रिलायबल इन ए वेरिएबिलिटी। आपके पास डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस आती हैं। जैसे उसने बोला है कि अगर आप एक अटैक कर रहे हैं, उसमें आपने फेंट किया या आपने किसी को पास किया और आपके टीममेट ने स्कोर कर दिया, सो जब दोबारा आप नेक्स्ट अटैक के लिए आएंगे तो वो दोबारा उस पे वो सिचुएशन नहीं आएगी। मैच में पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं है कि सेम सिचुएशन में, सेम पोजीशन पे, सेम पास से फिर आप गोल करेंगे। सो जो वेरिएबिलिटी है उस पे वो रिलायबल करता है कि उस पे प्लेयर के पास दूसरी वेरिएशन होनी चाहिए। कि जैसे आप प्ले मेकर हैं, आपको पिवट प्लेयर ने लेफ्ट साइड पे स्क्रीन किया और आपने खुद पेनिट्रेट करके गोल मार दिया या पीपी को पास दे दिया। अब हो सकता है दूसरी टाइम जो डिफेंसिव प्लेयर है वो लेफ्ट साइड पे अलाउ नहीं करे आपको स्क्रीन, तो आप दूसरी साइड लगाइए। हो सकता है आपको अगर चांस नहीं है, पिवट को नहीं है, तो आप पैरेलल राइट बैक को या लेफ्ट बैक को पास करिए। सो वेरिएबिलिटी जो है हैंडबॉल में, ये बहुत जरूरी है प्लेयर के लिए और इस पे रिलायबल होना चाहिए, चाहे वो अटैकिंग प्लेयर है चाहे वो डिफेंसिव प्लेयर है। सो जैसे उसने ड्रिल दी थी तो हैरी सर ने भी पूरा वो कर दिया है। जैसे उसने एक ड्रिल दी थी, येलो 3 एंड ब्लू कलर की जो शर्ट वाली 2, 3 वर्सेस 2। तो वो ये कह रहे थे कि जो गोल है वो इस साइड वाले प्लेयरों को पता है दोनों पे कि येलो ने करना है या ब्लू ने करना है, कोच इज स्टैंडिंग ऑन दैट साइड। मगर इसमें गोलकीपर को ये पता है कि जो टीम गोल करेगी उसकी अपोनेंट अटैक में जाएगी दोबारा, वो उसको पता होना चाहिए। वो शायद उसने ये नहीं बोला, पर हम आपसे ये कहते हैं कि गोलकीपर को कैसे पता कि ब्लू ऑन अटैक है। सो गोलकीपर को ये बताना है कि जो टीम अटैक करती है वो डिफेंस में जाएगी, चाहे स्कोर हो चाहे मिस हो, मगर गोल करने वाली टीम को पता है। उसमें हम एक रूल और ऐड कर सकते हैं कि सभी पांचों प्लेयर जो हैं वो 9 मीटर में एंट्री करेंगे। अगर कोच ने बोल दिया कि येलो गोल करेगा तो हो सकता है ब्लू वाले 11 मीटर पे खड़े हो जाएं, वो अंदर जाए ही ना। सो माइनर गेम कैन बी डिजाइन्ड to make your own rule also. The rule of the minor games are not written anywhere, so you have to see which component you want to develop. You want to develop cognitive ability, you want to develop motor abilities. So it's depend on the coach who is taking the class, and he can design as per his own interest or own value and demand of the demand from the players. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow at 11:30 again. Please join immediately. I have seen so many coaches are coming only when 12 p.m. is there. So please try to join before the time. Thank you very much. Now we are going to end the meeting.